and welcome back to the final day of Adobe Max here at Adobe Live in the Community Lounge. And my name, just as yesterday, is still Tim. I hope you're not tired of seeing me yet.
It hasn't changed. I'm so glad you're still the old guy.
And today I am joined by... Other side. I'm joined by Julia Zieger, one of our guests from Germany. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining us from. Julia,
hello.
How are you?
I'm great. I was just fascinated by the intro. The intro is so cool. Can we play that again, please?
Right. Yes, because we have all the time in 25 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, we really have to hurry up today. I have to show you so many things. Okay.
Before we get started, though, just a couple of things. First of all, this is a live session. So if you're watching this on max.adobe.com, on behance.net/live, or on youtube.com, then you can join the chat and say hi, ask questions, and I will do my very best to forward them to Julia. And Julia, of course, will show us...
I will ignore them.
Yeah, that's the plan. And while you ignore them, you will show us lots of cool things in your favorite apps on the iPad. Should we just get started?
Yes, please.
Right. Well, then let's go over to your screen and...
Halloween, and I started this illustration in Photoshop on the iPad.
1 second, I'm very sorry. I think we had a sound issue just about that. If you couldn't hear us for a minute, we're now back.
Awesome! So nobody got anything of that nonsense I was talking. Okay, that's awesome. Let's start fresh.
We're experts. Let's try that again. So this is Rocky and Bullwinkle. I know this American TV show, so I've drew this
exactly
earlier.
Yes, so this is an illustration I started in Photoshop on the iPad, and it's a Halloween illustration of Rocky and Bullwinkle, a show that I really love. And you can see this is the sketch right here, and this is the actual illustration. So it's all pixels and it's not vectors, but I want to finish this illustration on Illustrator on the iPad. So what I want to show you is I will close out of this document and walk over here to Illustrator on the iPad. And here's the first new cool feature. You can now place Photoshop cloud documents in Illustrator on the iPad. So that's what I want to do right now. I go right here on my left menu. I open the place a photo or a file or whatever, go to Creative Cloud. And then here's my folder. It's called Rocky and Bullwinkle. And you can see I have two separate, it's called PSDCs. It's a Photoshop file, but the C is for cloud. So I can actually choose that. I just Rocky, place that. Right here, you can see it brings it in. And it's linked now to this file on my server on the Creative Cloud. So I can move it around, scale it a bit as much as I want, put it over here like that. And maybe scale it down a bit like this. And bring in Bullwinkle as well here. Place that on top of him right here. And the reason I have them in two separate files is that I can place stuff between them and I can, change the position of them to each other. So plan my overall composition. And over here, my layers, you can see it's two separate PSDC files and I can select them both there and move them together. So the cool thing now is if I go back to Photoshop and I go into my Bullwinkle file right here. Can you see that?
Yes, moving over to Photoshop now.
So here's a layer with a layer mask that I gave it, and here's a brush. So if I decide I want to make that eye a little bit more transparent, so it looks a little bit, you know, creepier than it does before, I just go in here, draw this transparency in. Then I close out of the document, and what Adobe will do now is to save that file right here. And you see, there's this little blue icon that tells it's syncing right now.
I think it's still in presenting mode. Could you quickly, all the technical difficulties today, could you quickly go to the settings of your Photoshop app and just turn that off? That's a new feature. That's what I want to.
Well, it's not. We're not covering Photoshop today anyway.
But we would like to see what you're doing when you export.
So I just changed the transparency of Bullwinkle's eye. And the cool thing is you don't have to see it because we can go back to Illustrator. And then I go here and this new little icon on the bottom here and it says update. So all the changes I just made in Photoshop will be updated here as soon as it linked or synced, you know, up to the cloud and then back to Illustrator on the iPad. So the changes will appear here, and you can see there's this little icon up here that says there are changes, they're not here yet, so please update that file. And you can see here's the transparency of the eye now, that the eye that was drooping out of his face there. So next thing I want to do is lock this file or this layer, create a new layer right here, bring that on top of it. You can see what I'm doing right now, do you?
We're looking at your Illustrator at the moment.
Okay, cool. So I just want to open like a rectangle right here, bring in a background like this, give it a nice gradient background.
But I'm not sure if something is definitely wrong today. This is live, that's how you know. because it looks like the image is not updating, unfortunately.
Well, that's weird.
Perhaps you need to close Photoshop. You know what? Folks,
yeah, I can do that.
We will try to figure that out, and we will be back in just a second. Very sorry about that. Right. We got this.
Okay, so I guess it was Photoshop. Photoshop was bugging me today. Maybe because it's not about Photoshop, she was like, you know, feeling
it. Probably was the presenter mode of Photoshop.
Okay, well.
Anyway, now we're back in Illustrator, and
exactly.
You created
all I did
gradient.
right now, exactly, I created a little rectangle in the background, gave it a gradient, right here, and with two different colors, so it frames the picture a little bit. But that's not the important thing. The important thing is another new cool feature I want to show you, and that is the paintbrush tool that we now have on Illustrator on the iPad. So if I go over here to my brush icon, you can see the new third brush underneath there is the paintbrush. And I can actually browse through these little categories. It says art, there's charcoal, dry brush, grunge, all the cool things. But there's actually nothing that I want to use for my painting right now, because this is a Halloween illustration. I want splatter and blood all over the place. So what I actually need is my own brush. So what I'm going to do is actually go to the pencil tool right there, use the thin one, that's good. And then I start drawing here on the side my own little like blood splashes. And I don't need the fill color right now to be a gradient, just go with a solid color black. We don't need a stroke right now, and just keep drawing like this. And what I want to do now is create my own brush. So it's important that I keep this in this whole, you know, splatter brushes in an angle, because I don't want.
Yeah, I don't think Illustrator is liking us today.
Oh, it's not updating, is it? Oh, that's too bad, actually.
What is happening today? Trust us, it worked fine in the test run.
Oh, it's a glitch today, I guess.
Oh no.
That's too bad.
The gremlins don't like us to stream. Oh dear. Oh, we're so sorry about that.
It's not updating at all, is it? No. I can't see that there. Well, I'm working, and you guys can't even see what I'm doing.
I think this is just the way we're bringing your screen over to our end. Perhaps you can just quickly switch apps and go back. We're trying to fix it, folks. So.
Maybe if I just close out a document for a moment.
Something isn't playing right today.
Or maybe let me start the screen share again, okay?
All right. We will go to this one. There we are. You can just restart that, perhaps. In the meantime, I will have a look at the chat and see if some people are joining us and if they already have some questions. So let's see.
Yeah, let's hit some questions. That's a good...
Dear.
We're actually the first stream to answer questions because
yeah, there you go. Answering questions in 25 minutes. And Steve says, wow, those two have been into the giggle juice. Thanks, Stephen. And they're saying, I'm just learning that Rocky and Bullwinkle made it to Germany. That's right.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Is Julia making an NFT? Well, I don't think so today.
An NFT?
Oh, no.
Here we go.
Right. Okay. Now I can see updates on your screen. Let's try that one more time. We got
Creating
this.
a preview.
We're pros.
Here we go.
Yeah, that's good.
How about that? So this on the left right here, that's what I was drawing right now.
Don't touch anything now.
I will not touch my iPad anymore. I'm just talking about it. So what I would do is go over to the panel on the left and choose.
Don't do it.
So I will just select all of this and it was just a pencil brush, nothing fancy. Okay. So I go over to my left, to the left here, and I say paintbrush, and then I click this little plus at the bottom of the menu. And then it says art brush or a calligraphic brush, however you pronounce that. So I say art brush because that's cool. And I say scale options should be proportional. And the direction look at that. So my splatter should go down. So I use the down arrow. And on the bottom, there's a preview. So if I draw a brush stroke, bam, that's the preview of my brush. And in colorization, I will say tints because I don't want just a black brush right here. So I say save. And let's see what I got here. If I choose my brush now, I should be able to paint with that thing. Oh, there you go.
Yay!
There's my splatter brush.
And we can see your technology. Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. We got it all figured out.
Don't say that, please. Don't jinx it.
So what I want to do now is create all the blood in that whole thing. Okay.
Yes.
So I think there's blood coming out of Rocky's head here, and there should be blood coming out from here. And you can see it is actually scaling it to the brush stroke that I'm making, or the vector stroke that I'm making. So here and there.
Of course, it's ink. Everybody, that's
right now it is, yes.
Red ink.
There you go. It's not blood, of course not. No animals, no mules were harmed in this episode. So I can select everything right now. Yes.
Just quickly, from the Max chat, will these brush options be available for the Cintiq as well as the iPad? So right now we are only talking about the iPad. Illustrator on the desktop already has some other brush features which won't be part of the session today since we only have 25 minutes minus the one we already wasted.
Exactly. This is not, Illustrator on the desktop already has the paintbrush tool and you can make your own fancy brushes. So this is only new to the Illustrator iPad. And I can see that it's not updating anymore, Tim, because I'm already ahead of myself here.
Could you check if the toolbar at the top is green?
It is green.
Okay, well then I guess we need to, I'm so sorry everybody.
I'm sorry too, you guys.
Do whatever you did just before and do that again. To fix the thing, whatever happened. This has never happened before. Oh well.
Yeah, right.
Crazy.
Screamer.
Julia's just trying to freak me out. That's how it is.
It's Halloween. Here we go.
Okay.
What about this?
Yes, yeah, that's look great. Okay, now go, go, go.
Okay, go. Oh man, this is getting intense. Ooh. So next thing I want to do is change the color of this. I have to change the stroke. So I go over here and I choose some. Let's not make it look like real blood. Maybe this purple will look cool. Okay, so I'll put it here like this. And then I go to my layers panel and bring that to the background. There you go.
And Jessica says the joys of technology. Yes.
It is.
Usually it works. Who knows? It's a max.
So next thing I want to do, that's actually pretty cool. I want to vectorize something because Illustrator iPad has the new option that's vectorizing. Illustrator on the desktop already has that, but this is totally new to the iPad. So you can actually, and this opens a whole new world to you, vectorize anything that you can think of. You could vectorize Tim's picture right now and turn him into a brush. That's not what we're going to do today. We maybe do that next week. Today, I need a bone for this illustration. So I bring another Creative Cloud document, and in my Rocky and Bullwinkle folder, there is this little bone here. Can you see that?
Yes.
You keep me updated if you keep seeing that, okay?
I will. Try.
Seems like it's working now, but let's not jinx it.
You got it again. No.
So when I bring an image in of whatever kind it is, there's this new little icon here in the menu bar of this object. You can see underneath the object, there's this little menu bar. And the first one is the vectorize icon. But you can also go to the right here, and underneath object, there's also the vectorize option. That's new. So let's hit that. There you go. That's not at all what I want. I want it to look like the real bone I just brought in. So I say source should be handled like a painting or maybe a photograph, and it's processing. Ding, ding, ding. Can you see that?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. And there you go. Here's my bone.
Ooh.
And important for you to know is the bigger the image, the higher the color or the number of colors will be. The smaller you make it, the more Illustrator iPad will try to, simplify it. So if you bring in a big picture, it will actually try to keep all the gradients in the image. So what I want to do now is just use that as it is. Oops. And just say ignore white, and you will see that process bar in a second again, and say ignore white. And then I say expand vectorization. And there we go. There's the bone. And I make that a little bit smaller, and I turn that to the right so it's straight. Bring that in here. And I turn that into a new paintbrush too. So I hit the plus, new art brush. I say proportionally, please. And this time I will not change the color mode because I want this brush to look exactly like the original. I leave that at none. So the direction is all right. Yes, save brush. And now let's see if I can actually, let's delete this original bone here and draw a new one. And this is important. It happened to me a lot. You can draw if you don't have a fill color to your stroke or your fill. So I choose black, and there it is. Try it again. Another bone right there. And now I can actually start painting in bones in this. And I don't want to paint on my splatter layer. I create a new layer, delete those, lock it, new layer. Yeah, bring it to the back and paint in some bones here. So I could actually go crazy and just paint bones all over, but that's not what I'm aiming for here.
What? Aw.
Next time, maybe. Delete those. And what I wanted to show you now is the next new cool feature. And then you can see how you can bring all this together. You can use all features together. So I paint a bone right there, another one right here. And you can see how it actually curves around the shape I'm making. So if I draw this like it will squeeze it a bit, but to a degree, you can actually really play with it. It's fun. So undo these. Boom, boom, boom. And now I will select both of them, go over here to my repeat section, and there's a new feature. It's called blend. Bam. There you go. And now I can already hear you scream like, Igor, there are too many bones. What did you do? And then Igor will come over and say, Marcia, no problem. Just go over here to the properties panel and just decrease the numbers of repetition. So that's what you can do. And you say, thank you, Igor. You can take the day off now. Bye. So let's go like maybe not one. One is a little. There you go, 6 or 5 or 7. And you know what I would also recommend you is to replace the spine here, because you can actually do that. We can replace the spine of this bone structure. So many people of you who already work with Illustrator on the iPad know that every blend has a spine. So what you can do is go over here to the pencil brush and draw a new spine for that thing. So I draw it right here, like this half circle. Then I select this path and my bone blend. Sounds funny, but it's true. And then I say up here in my menu, replace spine. And you can see it changed the spine that was already there. It was kind of automatically composed by Illustrator on the iPad into this beautiful round spine that I have right here. So I can actually go and make them look good.
And the chat is amazed. What? I can see Ruth in the chat saying, one of
the
new features, amazing. Yes. And also,
I can, yes.
And I just want to have a question from the YouTube chat saying that's unfortunate that the German Adobe Live doesn't do anything. We actually will do something in 2 weeks, which is called Best of Max.
Exactly.
So stay tuned.
So what I can do here is actually click into this whole composition and choose like the left bone here or the right one and increase the size a bit like this. Bring it over. Same here. And you can see I can change the rotation and the whole blend will move, which is fun. And I can also, let's make some more, turn down the opacity so I can actually bring that here into my background like this.
The final 5 minutes.
Yes. And
exciting.
If there are any questions, just hit me. Just hit me.
Yeah, of course. Oh,
So
yes.
we go.
How can I add extra brushes in Illustrator on the iPad? I only have the blob brush. Well, if you only have the blob brush, make sure to update your version on the iPad.
Yes.
And then you can do it just like Julia did earlier. Rewind the session if you have missed that.
And I spent actually 20 minutes finding the update button yesterday. So I want to tell you how to do that. You go into the App Store, you search for Illustrator iPad. You don't go to the apps that you already have because it didn't show the upgrade for me. You search it. I know it should, but it didn't. So you go there, you search for Illustrator iPad, and then you, instead of open, you click on the name, and then there is a button that says update. You're welcome. I just saved you 20 minutes of your life.
I mean, it should work with the update feature. Normally, it should update automatically if you have that enabled in your iPad. But
right. I didn't. Yeah. I'm always careful with updates like most professionals are, you know.
Yeah, I'm also very careful. I totally didn't just press update all when it came out. Yes. Look at me.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so I have this little bone dance here in the background. And one thing I like to do is bring in a little texture that's also in my Creative Cloud files here in my cloud. Make that a little bit bigger, like here and there. And then put another blend mode on it, like or maybe overlay or soft light or hard light. This looks good. And I actually bring it into the foreground. So drag and drop. Ooh.
And while Julia's doing that, I just also quickly wanted to mention, if you like to see more of Julia's work, of course, you can check out her Behance. Is it just behance.net/Julia Zieger?
It is.
There you go. And Julia also joined us many, many times on the amazing Adobe Live show, behance.net/live, if you want to see more on that. And I'm sure, Julia, you'll be back very soon on the streams to show more of your
but
equipment.
only if it's as difficult as it was today, because I love bumpy streams.
I promise to make it as difficult as it was today.
The last 2 minutes I have, I want to show you that.
Yes,
I
please.
signed out of my Behance, so I don't want to show you anything today. But if you go to behance.net/my name,
Julia Zieger,
I have created a portfolio piece for this today, so you can actually watch the replay of this bumpy stream today, see all the new features, and take a look at the whole complete artwork again if you like. So, any more questions now?
Maybe you don't want to watch the replay of this one.
Yes, you do.
Yes, Emma says all the first takes will be available on YouTube and on Behance on demand.
Exactly.
And we have another question. Is the brush blend available in Illustrator on the desktop?
Yes, since a long time. You can use it there. You go to Path, Make, Blend, and it's the same option. There's also a blend tool in the tool panel on the left that you can use. Just two objects say blend. You can change the spine. Everything is there. You can use that. Mm-hmm.
And they're saying thank you very much, and apparently we are very entertaining.
Oh, I'm glad. At least you were entertained. I'm happy about that.
Go watch more Adobe Live. No, just kidding.
Yeah, mission accomplished.
This by far wasn't the last session today, because I mean this session is over now, but we do have another ones coming up.
You have to say it. The madness continues.
Hopefully with less technical difficulties, because after this, we will be joined by Nadine Kolazzi, and she will be talking about 3D. So join us again in about 6 minutes, either on max.adobe.com or on behance.net/Adobe Live, or of course on YouTube. Wherever you're watching, that's all great. Thank you so much, Julia. That was really wonderful. I hope you all learned something, even though we had technical difficulties.
Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you have fun. Fun with all the new updates and new features. Play with it.
And I will see you again in about 5 minutes, all about 3D with Nadine. Bye for now.
Bye.